Guys, this is Jerningam here. We're going to be watching Boris Johnson. He's talking about suspending Parliament, which is kind of funny. He's going to ask the Queen. I hope he gets his deal through.
As I said on the steps of Downing Street, we're not going to wait until October the 31st before getting on with our plans to take this country forward. And this is a new government with a very exciting agenda to make our streets safer. It's very important we bring violent crime down. We need to invest in our fantastic NHS. We need to level up education funding across the country. We need to invest in the infrastructure that's going to take this country forward for decades. And we need to deal with the cost of living, moving to a high wage, high productivity economy, which is, I think, what this country needs to be. And to do that, we need new legislation. We've got to be bringing forward new and important bills. And that's why we are going to have a Queen's speech, and we're going to do it on October the 14th. And we've got to move ahead now with a new legislative programme.
Prime Minister, to do that Queen's speech, you will need to prorogue Parliament for several days. Your critics will say this is an insult to democracy and denying the MPs the time they need to debate and possibly vote on Brexit.
No, well, that is completely untrue. If you look at what we're doing, we're bringing forward a new legislative programme on crime, on hospitals, and making sure that we have the education funding that we need. And there will be ample time on both sides of that crucial October the 17th summit, ample time in Parliament for MPs to debate the EU, to debate Brexit, and all the other issues. Ample time.
Prime Minister, you seem to have an ambitious domestic agenda. Your government does not have a majority. Even with the DUP, it only barely has a majority. Should we take from this that you are planning a general election before the end of this year?
No, all you should take from this is what we're doing exactly what I said on the steps of Downing Street, which is that we must get on now with our legislative domestic agenda. People will expect us. We need to get on with the stuff that Parliament needs to approve on tackling crime, on building the infrastructure we need, on technology, on levelling up our education, and reducing the cost of living. That is why we need a Queen's speech, and we're going to get on with it.
You may not know by the 14th of October whether you're going to get a deal, and the outlook could be quite different whether you do or whether you don't. So what have you got to say to the public who may be concerned about the economic?
Well, we need to get on with our domestic agenda, and that's why we're announcing a Queen's speech for October the 14th.
Hopefully that works then, as one would say. But we'll see. I think. I'm hoping he's going to get the deal or something going to happen. Here's Jeremy Corbyn's speech.
Suspending Parliament is not acceptable. It's not on. What the Prime Minister's doing is a sort of smash and grab on our democracy in order to force through a no-deal exit from the European Union. What's he so afraid of? That he needs to suspend Parliament to prevent Parliament discussing these matters. So when Parliament does meet on his timetable very briefly next week, the first thing we'll do is attempt legislation to prevent what he's doing, and secondly, we'll challenge him on a motion of confidence at some point.
Would you go as far to say that this would be a constitutional outrage?
It is a constitutional outrage. This is an attempt by a Prime Minister who was elected by a very small number of people in the country as Conservative Party membership to ride roughshod over Parliament and prevent any legislation or debate that would stop this country leaving the EU without a deal and all the problems that it would cause. He seems to want to run headlong into the arms of Donald Trump with more determination than I've ever seen anyone else before. This is extraordinary. He needs to be held to account by Parliament, not by shutting down Parliament, but by attending Parliament and answering the questions.
The government, of course, say this is about the domestic agenda. They're a new government that they're coming in, and that's why they want to put forward a new Queen's speech.
Are they wrong? I can just try and find. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to do something.
Right, to do that with a Queen's speech, which was previewed by a prorogue in Parliament.
They can, of course, bring forward a new legislative programme at the proper time. The proper time isn't as a way of avoiding what he knows will be a big parliamentary majority against leaving the EU with no deal. The government has been twice defeated on no deal under Theresa May, and I believe will be defeated again even more emphatically by Parliament. Johnson, our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, needs to be held to account by Parliament. All he's doing is running away from Parliament.
The Prime Minister says MPs will still have ample time to discuss Brexit matters as well as other matters. Is our MPs really going to lose that much time, considering this is over conference season? There won't be too many sitting days lost.
He's losing a whole week of it, and he's delaying the return to Parliament after what's known as the conference recess. And he knows full well that his intention is to prevent Parliament holding him to account. We will do absolutely everything we can next Tuesday onwards to stop him doing what I believe to be absolutely against the interests of the vast majority of people in this country. He has an agenda which is about leaving the EU with no deal and all the problems that's going to cause for our jobs, our rights, our economy, and the proposed trade deal he wants with the United States.
Will you join other MPs in continuing to sit in what's been called by some as the People's Parliament? I know that Shadow Minister Clive Lewis also was saying that call on people to take to the streets.
We will do everything we can, and we will join everybody else in doing that. I hosted a meeting of all opposition party leaders yesterday, and we reached an agreement on what we will do next week, and we will continue working together with everyone who wants to prevent this smash and grab against our democracy by the Prime Minister.
Well, what could one say?
For decades, and we need to deal with the cost of living, moving to a high wage, high productivity economy, which is, I think, what this country needs to be. And to do that, we need new legislation. We've got to be bringing forward new and important bills. And that's why we are going to have a Queen's speech, and we're going to do it on October the 14th.
And this was the reaction from the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow. Just a short while ago, he released his statement saying, "This move represents a constitutional outrage." He goes on to say that shutting down Parliament would be an offence against the democratic process and the rights of parliamentarians as the people's elected representatives. This is either an incredibly clever government manoeuvre to head off these pesky parliamentarians who are plotting and scheming to do all sorts of things to try and derail Boris Johnson's plan, or this is this huge affront to democracy. And
I'm just going to get my food, guys. I'm still going to be filming this, but I need to get some food in me because I'm hungry. So I've paused it for a minute. I do apologise, but I'm starving. I'm eating a bacon sandwich. Right.
Rage.
Yes, well, Boris has essentially called the bluff of the opposition MPs who've been meeting over the last couple of weeks to try and come up with a plan to stop a no-deal Brexit. Obviously, there has been a huge amount of anger in response to this move. What he's done is he's extended the recess period that British politicians get here in order to attend their party conferences. He's extended that from 3 weeks to 5 weeks, essentially closing down a good chunk of time where these MPs had hoped to try and bring forward some kind of new legislation in the Commons to stop him in his tracks from leaving without a deal.
Right, so the legislative option seems to have been shut off pretty much as a consequence of this. What about the vote of no confidence in the government that Lawrence just referred to? Could the opposition MPs plus the rebels within the Conservative Party, could they muster the numbers in order to make the government fall?
Well, initially the numbers for a vote of no confidence looked quite difficult because the kind of following procedure, we couldn't seem to get any answers on whether they would support the possibility of Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader, leading a caretaker government. This was the plan. He would lead a caretaker government, extend the Article 50 process, essentially pushing the Brexit deadline further away and calling a general election. But there has been a significant amount of anger from pro-Remain Conservative MPs today at this action by Boris Johnson. So it seems very likely now that there would be enough of them who would be potentially willing to vote to bring down their own government.
And what about the role of the DUP, of course, the Northern Irish Party, who have this arrangement with the government of confidence and supply vote? How are they viewing this manoeuvre, this tactic?
Well, there hasn't been a huge amount of response for them yet. Generally, they have been backing Mr. Johnson. Obviously, if there's a general election, their position could be changed. If Mr. Johnson wins a majority, their support will be less required in the new parliament. But they have been relatively supportive of his position. Obviously, they are very against this backstop proposal that has been the kind of hurdle in the Brexit negotiations. This is the procedure, the insurance policy that stops it from being a hard border on the island of Ireland. But Mr. Johnson has essentially said that he will agree no new deal with the EU that includes the backstop policy in any form. So obviously, this is something that they're incredibly interested in.
All right, John Johnston, thank you very much.
All right. Tell you what, I've got an appetite today, guys. Right, just trying to say what else we can do and show on here. I think that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for joining. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos with friends. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.